Welcome, curious minds, to another deep dive.
Great to be here.
Today, we're plunging into a corner of the blockchain world that's generating some truly complex and maybe even contradictory emotions. We're talking about SUI. It's a layer 1 blockchain, making waves definitely, but also sparking a lot of debate.
Yeah, you see that come up a lot online.
Absolutely. So we've gathered a range of sources for you today, market analyses, developer roadmaps, direct comparisons with players like Solana.
A good mix.
Our mission really is to cut through the noise, pull out the most important insights, and help you get a handle on SUI's potential, its current market dynamics, and what actually makes it unique.
Right.
We're going to explore the optimism, the innovative tech, the ecosystem growth, but also lay bare the critical market warnings and, frankly, the risk factors our research has uncovered.
And it's precisely that that dual narrative surrounding SUI that makes this so interesting, I think.
How so?
Well, on one side, you've got these bold claims, right?
Yeah.
Technological breakthroughs, rapid ecosystem expansion, looks great.
Yeah.
But then you look at the market data, the hard numbers, and there's this strong undercurrent of caution. Big money moving, maybe. So our goal today is to connect those dots for you so you can walk away well-informed about SUI's full, quite complex landscape.
Okay, let's dive into the core then. What is SUI fundamentally? What's under the hood that makes it stand out from, well, the crowd of L1s?
Yeah, good question.
Our sources describe it as a first-of-its-kind platform, designed for speed, privacy, security, accessibility, the works.
Indeed, SUI represents a pretty fresh architectural vision for blockchain that came from former Meta engineers, launched relatively recently, 2023.
Right, the DM connection?
Sort of. What truly sets it apart is its object-centric data model and its use of the Move programming language.
Okay, object-centric. Move. Let's unpack that a bit.
Yeah, so instead of just processing transactions one after the other like many traditional blockchains, SUI treats things like NFTs or specific tokens as independent objects. And because of that object model, it can achieve parallel transaction processing. Think of it like building a multi-lane highway for these digital assets instead of just a single congested road.
So multiple things can happen at once, basically.
Exactly. And that directly translates to the promised, unmatched scalability and speed for dApps.
So it's not just about doing things faster, but doing them in a fundamentally different way. That allows for a massive increase in throughput.
Precisely.
Our Reddit source, for instance, highlights some really ambitious technical leaps they're making. Things like Mysticetti v2.
For faster DeFi finality.
And Remora, which lets validators split workloads, pushing stress tests to hundreds of thousands of transactions per second. I mean, that kind of performance.
It's potentially game-changing, right? It opens up entirely new possibilities for what you can actually build on a blockchain.
Yeah.
And beyond just raw speed, SUI is also tackling foundational issues like secure, low-latency interactions. They're even building specialized PDP tunnels for zero-latency off-chain stuff, perfect for, say, real-time gaming.
Wow. Okay.
And the Reddit source also mentions SIP45. That's about fair transaction ordering, transparent gas bids, aiming to give MEV, maximal extractable value, back to users, not just miners or validators.
That's a big deal in the community.
Huge. And looking ahead, for storage, Walrus is hitting mainnet Q1 2025. Then Seal, for programmable encryption, they're hinting at like a Dropbox on Sui.
Decentralized Dropbox, huh?
Kind of. And they're even integrating SION to harden the network against common internet attacks like DNS hacks, BGP hijacks. It's a really comprehensive approach to the basic infrastructure. They're thinking deep.
Okay, so the tech sounds impressive, ambitious, but what's SUI actually building with it, and who's getting on board? Our OKX source points to strong institutional backing early on.
Yeah, that $450 million in private investment is significant.
In partnerships with big names like Swiss banks, Signum, and Amina Bank. That signals real confidence in its long-term potential, doesn't it?
It certainly does. It shows it's not just a tech experiment. It's about strategic market positioning, too. And SUI is rapidly diversifying its use cases.
Like what?
Well, we're seeing innovation in DX activity. Decentralized exchanges through protocols like Deepbook, significant TVL growth, total value locked, and real-world asset integration, RWA.
RWA is huge right now, like tokenized gold.
Exactly, that's one example. These aren't just buzzwords, it's tangible expansion. And crucially, they're investing heavily in gaming. Over 65 studios, 70-plus titles supposedly queued for 2025. They're aiming for a massive gamer migration.
A big bet on gaming.
A very big bet.
And it's not just finance and gaming, right? The Reddit source mentions setting the stage for RealFi, real-world finance, and even AI agents.
Yeah, that's the really forward-looking stuff.
A vision for AI agents to pay, coordinate, and deliver real-world outcomes, seamlessly leveraging Sui. I mean, that sounds almost like sci-fi.
It really pushes the envelope, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But beyond these big ideas, SUI's focus on user experience is also pretty key, I think.
How so?
Features like sponsored transactions. So users don't necessarily need the native SUI token just to pay gas fees for simple interactions.
Oh, removing a major friction point for new users.
Exactly. And AI coding assistance to help developers build faster. It's all about lowering entry barriers, simplifying things, making Web3 feel more like Web 2 in a way.
That push for mainstream adoption.
Precisely. And our Tangem source adds that the SUI token itself is obviously vital. Transaction fees, staking in their proof-of-stake system.
Which uses Narwhal and Bullshark, right? Interesting names.
Yeah, components for managing that high-throughput transaction ordering. The token's also used for governance, of course.
And the allocation. Tangem had details on that.
Right. Roughly 50% for the community reserve, about 20% for early contributors, 14% investors, 10% Mist and Labs treasury, and around 6% for the public sale. Plus, deflationary measures like burning some gas fees.
Okay, so we've painted a pretty optimistic picture so far. Tech prowess, ambitious growth, user focus. But, as we hinted at earlier, there's the other side of the coin. Critical market warnings. The Binance Square piece highlights these complex and contradictory emotions.
Yeah, that phrase stood out.
It notes that despite a recent price bump, there's been a continuous net outflow of large orders. Wow. Big players selling.
That's the implication. Large holders moving funds out, even as the price goes up.
Yeah.
It's counterintuitive.
What does that tell us? Does it suggest maybe a lack of underlying confidence despite the price action?
That's the core of the complex and contradictory part, I think. This pattern suggests what the article calls the main force. Big informed holders might be shipping or selling off their positions.
While retail chases the pump.
Exactly. While retail investors, seeing the price rise, are chasing the rise. That divergence, it adds significant risk, especially with the upcoming token unlock events.
Right, the unlocks. Tell us about those.
Well, they're not just one-offs. Our Tangem source details a structured, significant monthly release schedule all through 2025.
A steady stream.
A steady stream. We're talking substantial amounts of SUI entering circulation almost continuously. Yeah. Which, inevitably puts pressure on supply and demand.
Potentially diluting value over time if demand doesn't keep pace.
Precisely. The OKX source calls token unlocks a double-edged sword. Yes, they can signal growth, reward early folks, but they undeniably increase the circulating supply. Downward pressure is a real possibility.
And the technicals, what are they saying?
It's a mixed bag, frankly. Derivatives market sentiment is sort of... CoinCodex indicates a generally bearish sentiment for SUI based on technical analysis as of late August 2025. More sell signals than buy overall. Some short-term indicators might show buy signals, day-to-day fluctuations, but the broader, longer-term signals, moving averages, momentum oscillators, many are pointing towards selling pressure.
So volatility is the name of the game short-term.
Yeah, the key takeaway is that volatility, nearly 5% over the last 30 days, according to one source. It just underlines this period of market uncertainty.
Okay, it's tempting to just focus on SUI itself, but how does it stack up against, say, a titan like Solana? They've both had quite a journey.
Right.
Our BingX source gives a really good comparison, frames them not just as competitors, but maybe even as complementary.
Yeah, I thought that was an insightful way to put it. It highlights how different L1s can actually thrive by targeting different niches or having different strengths.
So how do their growth paths compare?
It's quite remarkable, actually. In 2024-2025, the overall blockchain TVL market grew, let's say, 100%. Solana. It achieved a huge 140% TVL growth. An impressive recovery story.
Definitely.
But SUI, being the newcomer launched in 2023, posted an exceptional 220% TVL expansion, reaching $2.27 billion in TVL from basically zero in just 2 years.
Wow. Significantly outpacing the market and even Solana's recovery rate.
Yeah, in terms of percentage growth from its starting point, it's been explosive.
So Solana is the more established player, right? The Ethereum killer narrative, known for speed 3000 plus TPS, super low fees, mature ecosystem.
Right. It boasts like 7.16% of the total blockchain TVL market share, a $94.7 billion market cap. Big partnerships. Visa, PayPal, proven track record in many ways.
But weaknesses too, network reliability issues in the past.
Definitely. Concerns about centralization, token distribution fairness, and of course market volatility. It's not without its challenges.
So how does SUI position itself differently?
Well, SUI claims that theoretical throughput of over 100,000 TPS, a much higher ceiling if achievable. It's climbed rapidly, number 6 L1 by TVL, $15 billion market cap by mid-2025.
And its strengths?
That next-gen user experience we talked about, the early investment opportunity factor, its suitability for high-frequency DeFi because of the architecture, strong financial backing, and that innovative tech base. It's aiming for a different kind of performance and user interaction.
But being newer, it has its own weaknesses, naturally.
Of course. Limited track record compared to Solana. Smaller ecosystem right now, lower liquidity. That means a higher risk profile for investors. And those ongoing questions about token allocation fairness still linger.
And the tokenomics differ significantly too, right?
Yeah. Big time. Solana has inflationary tokenomics, though the issuance rate decreases. SUI has that fixed 10 billion token cap, but with the gradual structured release schedule we discussed. That makes the unlock schedule even more critical to watch for SUI. Plus, Solana has a longer history navigating the regulatory landscape.
Okay, so we've got this incredible innovation and growth potential on one hand, balanced by pretty significant market warnings, unlock pressures, and the risks of a newer network. It's quite the picture.
It really is.
So where does this leave us looking forward? Our sources show this really interesting split. Short-term caution, but long-term optimism, almost bullishness.
Yeah, it's a striking dichotomy. How do you reconcile that?
Exactly. Is it just expecting people to buy the dip and hold on, or is there something more fundamental driving that long-term confidence?
Like a critical question. Look at CoinCodex again. Short-term, they predict a downward trend. A drop to around $2.44 by late September 2025. It's a noticeable dip. The overall 2025 sentiment, bearish.
A clear warning signal for the immediate future.
Absolutely. But then, the long-term outlook completely flips. CoinCodex forecasts significant growth for SUI between 2026 and 2030. Prices potentially hitting $14.01 by 2030.
Wow, that's a potential ROI of over 300% from current levels.
Huge potential upside. It signals a really robust, long-term bullish trend, according to their model at least.
What's driving that optimism, do you think?
Well, I think it comes back to the core technology and vision. The Reddit community, for example, expresses that strong giga-bullish sentiment. Many there seem convinced SUI is doing something actually revolutionary.
They see 2025, despite the warnings, as maybe its breakout year.
That's the feeling you get from supporters. The vision for SUI to become this global coordination layer for digital assets that really resonates. It suggests a deep conviction that the underlying tech will eventually win out over these short-term market pressures and unlock dynamics.
It definitely sounds like a project with immense ambition, deep tech, but one that absolutely demands careful attention. You need to watch those market signals, the tokenomics.
No doubt.
What a deep dive into SUI. We've seen a blockchain platform really pushing the boundaries, haven't we? Object-centric design, parallel processing.
Attracting major institutional backing.
And building out an ecosystem in gaming, RWAs, even AI. Really broad scope.
But yeah, we've also uncovered those crucial market warnings, that phenomenon of large holder outflows, even when the price looks okay.
Right. And the significant continuous token unlocks through 2025. That potential selling pressure is real.
Plus, the prevailing bearish sentiment in the short-term technicals. Can't ignore that.
And comparing it to Solana really highlights SUI's incredible growth speed as a newcomer.
But also the risks, right?
Yeah.
It's newer, less battle-tested.
Definitely.
So what does this all mean for you, the listener? SUI presents this complex but really intriguing landscape. Clear tech innovation, strong long-term projections.
But carrying that volatility and risk inherent in early-stage crypto, especially with these specific token supply dynamics.
Exactly. It's not a straightforward bet.
So it leaves us with a provocative thought, perhaps. As the blockchain world moves towards this multi-chain future where different platforms specialize, will SUI successfully navigate these early challenges? The market pressures, the unlocks? Will it become that global coordination layer for digital assets its founders envision?
Or will the short-term volatility, that steady stream of new tokens hitting the market, end up overshadowing its really innovative arc?
Something definitely worth considering as you watch this fascinating space unfold.